Hi kindergartners, it's Mrs. Coleman here, and today for math we are going to explore subtraction equations. Last time we looked at addition equations. Subtraction equations kind of work the same way, except instead of putting things together, adding things to a group, you're taking things away from the group. Let's warm up our brains. I am going to share 3 math stories with you. Once there were 4 kindergarten teachers hanging out, and 2 of the kindergarten teachers had to go home. So there were 2 kindergarten teachers left. I had a total of 6 Pokemon cards, and my little sister wanted some Pokemon cards, so I gave her 3. That left me with 3 Pokemon cards. There were 5 dogs altogether. And 4 of the little puppies went to new families, so that left 1 dog. Let's do some learning. In my first math story, we started out with 4 kindergarten teachers, so I'm going to put a 4. And then some had to go home, so I'm going to put this subtraction sign. And how many had to go home? 2 did, so I'm going to put a 2. That equals 2 kindergarten teachers left. In my second math story, I started out with 6 Pokemon cards, so I'm going to put a 6. And then my sister wanted some, so I had to take some out of the group. That's why I put the subtraction sign. And how many did I give to her? Well, I gave her 3, so I'm going to put a 3. And when you do 6 take away 3, it equals 3. In my final math story, I started out with a total of 5 dogs, so I'm going to put a 5. And some of the dogs left their mommy to go be with new families, so we're going to take some away. We're going to subtract them. And how many left to go live with new families? 4. So I'm going to put a 4. And when you do 5, take away 4, that equals 1 dog left. Let's take a look at the parts of a subtraction equation. When you look at a subtraction equation, typically the first number that starts the equation is the biggest number. Then you put the subtraction sign after it. You might hear the words subtract, take away, or minus. They all mean the same thing. And then you have another number that you take away from the bigger group. Put the equal sign, and the last number in the equation is the difference, what you have left once you take something away. Just like when you use strategies to solve addition equations, subtraction equations also have strategies that you can use to get the answer. And for this lesson, we're actually going to look at the same 3 strategies that we used last time in math. Let's take a look. Let's use the equation 5 subtract 2, or 5 take away 2, or you can say 5 minus 2. And let's use the first strategy that we learned, using your fingers. Here's what you do. You start with the number 5, so put up 5 fingers. And you're going to take away 2 fingers, so put 2 of them down. Once you do that, you will have 3 fingers still standing, and that's your answer. 5 take away 2 equals 3. Let's look at the second strategy, using objects. So again, we start with the number 5, so put out 5 objects. And then we have to take away or minus or subtract 2. So take 2 away. And after you take those 2 away, you are left with 3 objects. So 5 take away 2 equals 3. Let's look at the third strategy you can use to solve subtraction equations. That strategy is called use pictures. So what you would do is you start with 5. So you would draw 5 of something. 5 triangles, 5 smiley faces. In this case, I'm going to use circles. 5 circles. And then we have to subtract 2 circles. So I cross out 2 of them. After you cross out 2, you are left with 3 circles. So 5 take away 2 equals 3. I want to make sure to mention again that there are many more strategies you can use to solve subtraction equations. But today we are going to practice these 3. Use fingers, use objects, use pictures. Now it's time to do some practicing. In order to get ourselves ready to solve subtraction equations, we're going to need some materials. Here are the materials I got. I got some writing tools, whiteboard marker, whiteboard and eraser, and then I got some objects. I chose to grab some wheat thins because I'm kind of hungry. So you need to grab some writing tools and some objects. Here are some ideas. For the writing materials, you could gather a whiteboard marker and a whiteboard, or paper with a pencil, marker, or crayon. And for the objects, you could grab toys like Legos, blocks, dinosaurs, toy cars, Pokemon cards, Shopkins, or food or candy. When you grab objects, be sure to grab about 20 objects. When I say pause, pause this video and go get some writing tools and objects so we can practice math together. Pause. Like I mentioned earlier, there are many ways to solve subtraction equations. And today we're going to try practicing each of the 3 that I showed you in this video. All right, here we go. So let's start off with strategy number 1. Use your fingers. But before we do, let's make sure to write that equation down below using your writing materials. This is what mine looks like. And now we are going to use our fingers to solve this equation. So the first number you see is 10. It's the biggest number in the equation. So let's put up 10 fingers. And then it shows that it wants us to take away, to minus, to subtract 3. So let's do that together. Ready? 1, 2, 3. How many are left? 7. So that's our answer, the difference. Let's write down 7. 10 take away 3 equals 7. Let's try this strategy again. Our subtraction equation shows 7 take away 1. So let's write that down first. Now let's use our fingers to find what the difference is. The first number you see is 7, so put up 7 fingers. And if you look, it wants us to take away 1, so let's put down 1. How many are left? 6. That's the difference. 7 take away 1 equals 6. It looks like the next strategy we're going to use is the object strategy. But first, let's write down that equation. 10 take away 4 equals. Now let's use objects to solve this subtraction equation. So it looks like we're starting with 10. So put 10 of your object in front of you. I'm going to put them in my hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 9. You got 10? All right. Now it says it wants us to minus 4. So we're going to have to take away 4. Okay, ready? So let's count how many we have left over. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The answer is 6. Let's write it down. 10 take away 4 equals 6. Let's do it again. Let's start by writing that equation down. So it looks like we have to start with 7 objects. So put 7 in front of you. I'm going to put them in my hand. And then it looks like it wants us to take 5 of these away. So let's take 5 out of this group. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. How many are left? 2. That's our answer. It looks like we're going to try the third strategy, using a picture. So let's write down that equation first. 9 take away 4. So now for the picture, I'm going to use circles because it's just easier for me. But if you want to make triangles or smiley faces or sticks, go ahead. So we start with 9. So that means we have to draw 9 of something. Go ahead. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then we have to take away, we have to subtract 4. So let's do that. So now we have to find the answer. We have to count out the picture, the part of the picture that isn't crossed out. Nine take away 4 equals 5. Let's start by writing down that equation. 12 take away 3. So we have to start by drawing 12 of something. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And then we have to cross out this many. Go ahead and do that. Let's count what we have left over. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 12 take away 3 equals 9. Now that we had a chance to practice together, I want you to see what you know about solving subtraction equations. It's time to test yourself. What's going to happen is I'm going to put a subtraction equation on the screen. Your job is to first write down that equation. Second, choose which strategy you're going to use to solve it. And third, put the answer down. I will give you the answer at the end. Remember, these are the 3 strategies you can use. Use fingers, use objects, use pictures. When you test yourself, feel free to stick to just one strategy that works for you, or you can pick and choose which strategy works best for that subtraction equation. Are you ready? Let's do it! The answer is 1. The answer is 3. The answer is 5. Let's review what we learned today. In a subtraction equation, you need to start with 2 numbers, and the first number is usually the biggest. You use the subtraction symbol to show that you are taking something away from the group. You put an equal sign right before the answer. The answer is, what's the difference between these two numbers? And we use subtraction equations to show and to tell math stories from our world. If you want to grow your thinking around subtraction equations, what you can do is you can create your own subtraction equation, or somebody in your family can create them for you, and you can show how you solve them using one of the three strategies, either using fingers, using objects, or using pictures. I did some. Check them out. The next time we do math together, we are going to learn how to tell time. Thank you for joining me, mathematicians. We will see you next week. Goodbye.